Hello, friend. Let's get comfortable. Welcome back to my Becoming Her series. In the first episode, I gave you some insight into how we kind of got to this point. Becoming a mom at 15 and 17 and raising kids while also being a kid. I completely lost myself. And I didn't know what they looked like outside of motherhood. So today we're going to talk about how your girl got back or decided to, or what it looked like losing myself and raising everyone else. Welcome to episode 2. Hope you having a good week, boo. I hope that you're relaxed. You got your juice, you got your wine, and you're ready to chit chat it up with your girl. So I want to walk you into what my early 20s looked like. Being a mom with young kids, a young mom, and only knowing work, 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 work. That's all I knew was work, 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 be able to provide for my children, and provide for myself. And so as the kids are becoming toddlers, I didn't really know who Laquita was outside of being a mom. I immediately went from being the oldest of 7 and making sure that my sisters and brothers were okay to immediately making sure now my children were okay. Didn't know what self care looked like, didn't know what being healthy looked like, had no dreams, completely in survival mode, no identity, living on all of autopilot. Work, kids, home, work, kids, home, work, kids, home. That was it. Not having my GED and wanting to close that chapter of my life for so long kind of taunted me. I felt like it was something that was holding me back, but it was also something that I did not have time for. And at about 33 or so, I just made a decision that it was now my time. Um, and so I made a decision to study every morning before work. So I would literally drive to my work area about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would study from about 5 to 7. And at this time, I had an early shift, so my shift started at about 7:30. And so I would study for 2 hours in the morning. And I did that every morning up until probably the week of my test. What's so crazy about the week that I actually took the test? And the funny part about it, about this GD, so let's kind of walk through it. So I had taken the test multiple times in between the time of me being a young mother in my 20s and getting into my 30s, or young mother in like my teens and getting into a mother in my 30s. They changed the requirements of the GED. So I basically took everything at the beginning, but I had difficulties passing the math part. And so I would get discouraged quick, get discouraged quick, get discouraged quick. And then they completely changed the requirements. So I had to go retake everything over all 5 parts: the math, the reading, science, social studies, and I can't remember the other part. But I always had this issue with math. So at this point in time, this particular year, it rained in Georgia, and everything was primarily shut down, for a couple of days. And so the day that I was supposed to go take the test, the instructor emailed me and asked me if I still want to come. And I was just very determined to close this chapter of my life. And so I said, yes, I still wanted to come. I was the only one in the testing site. And he told me I did not have to rush. And so I go to the testing site. Snow is not all the way melted, it's just melted a little, enough for me to drive. And I go inside the building, and I began to take the test. Of course, pray that I would pass this time. And now I'll never forget it. I finished the test, and at this point, GED test they got so advanced, the computer kind of tells you whether or not you passed probably in like 30 minutes. And so I just sat in my car and I waited for about 30 minutes and I went in to see if I passed the test. I never forget it. I go in and I hit the button and I literally passed the test with 2 points. I got out my car. I cried. I fell to my knees. I was so overwhelmed with happiness. I finally felt like I had completed a chapter that had been holding me back in so many ways. And once I passed and I like got my GED in the mail, it was like, girl, like you did it. And at this time, my kids were in high school, and so I got the chance to show them that it's never too late. That when you make a decision that you're gonna do something, it's gonna seem hard at first. There are not gonna be many people that are gonna support you. They're not even gonna understand, and sometimes you may have to just move in silence. But I was able to walk across the stage at 34 years old. I completed my GED 2017. I think we walked across the stage 2018. Um, and you see me speaking those years, that's not that long ago. I'm now 42 and it's 2025. So imagine. But I was able to show my youngest daughter that I did it. She was able to see me graduate with my diploma. And that meant so much to me because even though my grandmother and grandfather and mom in heaven and they got to see it from heaven, to for her to be able to see it in person, it just truly meant a lot to me. So your girl gets a GED, okay? Um, and at this time, I realized now it's time to do something different. It's time to start to become a better me. So I walked you down the timeline. That's like 2017, 2018. Y'all know we got 2019. And then the C hits. Oh boy, we were not ready for that. Now the C gets here and there's nothing to do. So your girl literally at that time was going through a little depression and I made a decision. I was like, you know what? I can't do nothing. I'm gonna walk. So I'm gonna drink this detox tea. I'm gonna change the way that I'm eating. I can't eat outside. I'm gonna drink more water and I'm gonna walk. My complex literally was one way in, one way out. And you will have to walk it 3 times to complete 30 minutes, which was about a mile. And I did that probably the first year, year and a half, and I lost a total of 50 pounds at that point. And I said, okay, I think I done tapped into something. And I said, okay, Quito, now you can start doing this for you. So now having kids that are grown almost, one was out of high school by this point. My youngest daughter graduated 2019. So by the time the C hit, it was me and the grown kids. And I said, now you can do something for you. And so I made a decision to do it for me, to find me outside of my kids, to step into a new identity of a girl that I did not know, a woman that I did not know, and start becoming the person that I envisioned for myself, the person that felt good, the person that was happy, the person that looked skinny, not even was skinny, looked skinny. with the manifesting spirit and mindset, tapped into God, eating clean, eating healthy, in a healthy relationship. And so I just started to do the things that this girl would do. She would get up in the morning and drink water. She would get up in the morning and take her supplements. She would bake her food, no fried food. She stopped eating pork chop. She stopped eating like processed ham and turkey. Um, Started drinking more water. Very intentional about working out. I started working out at home in my living room with a online trainer, literally. Um, had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that if I showed up every day, something different was going to happen. That's how we got into what is now my purpose, my passion, fitness, personal development, and becoming her. And so, if you're listening to this, you feel like you've lost yourself, I want you to know you are not alone. For years, I didn't know who I was outside of being a mom. Now, at 42, for grown kids, I'm proof it's never too late to become her. In the next episode, I share the breaking point that forced me to finally put myself first. Don't forget, subscribe so you don't miss out. I'll talk to you later, boo. Bye.